What is going on with this light here? Hey everyone, my name is Monica. Thanks again for joining today. Today I'm going to be discussing the benefits of having dual nationality. Now, I have an American and a Mexican passport, and I am on my way of getting an Italian citizenship soon. There are various types of visas to allow you to live, work, and just travel within that nation. Today, I'm not going to be going through every single type of visa because A, that's boring, and B, there's just too many visas out there. But I am going to be discussing different types of visas that are easier to get and are faster to allow you to go into residency and potentially get yourself a citizenship in that country. So let's dive in. So I did have to switch angles because that was just not helping my neck by any means. So today I'm actually going to be discussing ways in which you can get long-term visas. So it has the ultimate goal of having residency or even citizenship in these countries. So I'm not going to be including tourist visas, employee visas, marital visas, or student visas. For people who are not looking at those options, there are various different ways in which you can get residency abroad. So previously, I've discussed nomad visas. So by definition, you will need to have an online source of income, and you're just basically working completely remote. Of course, their requirements are going to differ by price and by length, and even the potential to gain citizenship or residency at a long period of time. This has been fairly rampant over the past couple of months because of COVID. A lot of countries are moving towards allowing more people to come in to basically make up for the lack of tourism that has been had in this past year. Here's just a really quick demonstration of the countries that are offering them in 2021. Again, if you would like to take a look at my other videos, I go in a lot more depth than I will today because I want to discuss some other options that you have. First, established by St. Kitts, we also have golden visas. Now, this is an investment visa in which you buy yourself into getting a passport, basically. There's various countries that are taking on, and it's increasing over the years. The details in terms of gaining this type of visa is that you do have to have an investment. They're fairly on the expensive side. It's not a cheap way to buy yourself a passport, but typically the minimum investment is $100,000 US. So this is typically in the form of real estate or in business, that you are buying a company or buying into a company. This is an awesome way to fast track your citizenship. Typically you do not have to even be living in the country. Which basically provides you residential freedom. So you can purchase a house, for instance, in Portugal, be there only a couple months out of the year and build up that investment stream. You can rent out the property depending on what the country's jurisdiction is, and it's a wonderful way for you to get that extra passport. Now, the benefits of having another passport is that it will allow you to enter into other countries without having to pay any visa fees. For instance, I have an American passport and a Mexican passport. Brazil has a specific visa fee for Americans to enter into their country. So I go in as a Mexican, and they don't have any specific visa fees or requirements for Mexicans. So each type of passport has its benefits. They're actually ranked in terms of best to worst passports to have based on the eligibility of you entering into a country without having to pay a visa fee. For instance, going into Europe for me as an American, I don't have to pay to have a tourist visa, right? The more passports that you own, the better. Now, with all the DNA testing to allow you to figure out your ancestry, This last type is really kind of beneficial for people who are really wanting to get residency or nationality through their bloodline. I, for instance, am half Italian and have been trying for many years to get my Italian citizenship. My grandmother on my father's side comes from Italy, and so it's the easiest way for me to go down that route. But obviously, there are other ways, right? So, these are a few of the countries that are offering citizenship by descent. So that completes today's list. It's very short and sweet, but it definitely gets your research going in terms of finding dual nationality if this is something that you're interested in. Obviously, there's some huge benefits, like I mentioned earlier, of having multiple passports, and especially during a time where things are so unstable, there's a lot of people who are seeking outwardly in order to kind of maximize their financial gains and look at investment opportunities abroad. Check out these resources to learn a little bit more about the ways in which you can diversify your money streams through residency options. I feel like I have to just repeat this one more time to be super safe, but as a quick disclaimer, I am not an international or financial legal advisor or attorney in any way. These are just some of the resources that I've looked into in order to seek long-term residency options abroad. Now, this is basically the first step in which you need to look at, right? Past being that tourist, past that 3-month period, if you really want to stay in that country long term, these are going to be some of the resources that I highly recommend. So I really hope this video was helpful. This is basically the first place you need to begin in terms of really understanding what it takes to move abroad. If you are looking for long-term options, right? Obviously, you can travel on a tourist visa, and you can hop around from other countries, and that's going to be fine. But if you want a long-term investment option or residential opportunity to live in a specific country for more than 6 months, then this is where you need to begin. So next week, I am going to be discussing a 6-month plan, a checklist item of exactly what I've done in order to prepare myself for my various moves abroad. So if you're interested, please subscribe so that you can get notified of that opportunity. Again, thanks for joining today, and best of luck.